One who eats grass rather than food will choose darkness to read rather than light. Welcome again. Uh, we're going to 29, the date 29 stroke 1 in my journal. The last we did was Rauf claims spread kit of 100 uh, of 100 contained 80 instead. Sorry. Rauf claimed practice of 100 contained 80 instead. That's where we stop. We go to then there was also on the 29th a requisition for a practice of 50 strips, which never existed as at the time. As at that time. Okay, I think we did it. We did it. Yes, we did it. Yes, the only day a pregnancy kit of 50 strips was supplied was Thursday 16/4, which requisition was made 17/3. So that we had the kit 16/4 and the following day 17, we had the request. So this thief, pardon me to say that, saw in advance that we would get a pregnancy test of 50, even before before it arrived. Mm. Well, they circulate news among themselves. Mm. Yes, I think two kits of those of the 50 were collected by myself. Mm. Okay. Yes, we'll go back to the land issue. On the same day, 17/3, 2009, I was at Liman Issa's house. He, he repeats what Ibrahim says and asks what I had earlier told Ibrahim. Yes, he repeats what Ibrahim says and adds what I had earlier told Ibrahim, i.e., about taking the matter to court. I should not come to his house again asking for those papers. So in other words, if I'm coming to his house for this, I remember him very well. If it is because of the papers we are coming here, then please don't come here again. That was precisely what he said. Mm. Don't come here again if it's for the papers. You collected my papers, you gave it to the wrong person, and you are telling me I shouldn't come here again. And you are planning with your other cousin that I can take the matter to court. So it's court issue that he wants. And this is somebody who claims to be learning the Quran in a group. I don't know, no good bachelor. To be studying the Quran in a group. Okay. Earlier told Ibrahim Aye about taking the matter to court. I should not come, afraid I should not come to his house again if it's just because of the papers. Then, on Monday, 4th, Atik replies query. He said Atik replies query. He was not ready to reply. Then, about 2 p.m., no, that's a different thing. So Atik now replies query, which he didn't. I've forgotten the day I asked him for the query. It may be back somewhere in my previous video. Okay, Sunday 1914, diabetes medicine prepared. I said I was doing herbal medicine and I prepared new diabetes medicine, not important. Then stomp, whatnot. Stomp again. Important. Wednesday, 22nd, 4th. Uh, I don't know if it's 1 a.m. or not. This is about a patient called Isahaku Zakaria. Isahaku Zakaria. Concerned about his long wait, I found out that he was never registered. So he waited so long without knowing that he was not registered because they wanted to do it behind this screen. I think they didn't know what to do. So they kept him waiting and waiting and waiting. And when he cried out, I went and I saw that he's not even registered. You see these people. Found out that he was never registered. And Raouf claims he's not aware of him and yet had been priced for testing. He said he was not aware of him. But who charged him for the tests? That's the question. Oh my God. So the man waited and had to complain. When I said he's not aware of it. But then who charged him for the test? Who got money from him for the test? As if the money is going to make them better people. I had earlier done Raouf's case of BF only, malaria parasites only, for a 7.5 month girl, girl called Comfort. I entered it in the staff book. He doesn't know how to enter things. Just do and pocket, do and pocket, do and pocket, and we blame the government. We don't blame ourselves. Blame the government when they say there's no money. Then I go back to the lab at 4:40 p.m. and the name Salifu Zakaria had now been entered as number 187 for BF only, 3 CDs. So I don't know, from Isaku Zakaria to Salifu Zakaria for BF only. Okay. And the number of course changed. Then Wednesday 22nd 4, there was a meeting between myself, Raouf, and the superintendent concerning afternoon duty and blood bank. Then Thursday 23rd April, morning meeting with Atik, an administrator. Atik apologizes and promises to number request cards. So we met because they were not labeling the cards as they came in. The administrator at that time saw it right to talk to them. Then Atik apologizes and promises to number request cards. Remember, I said Atik was a health health extension worker, not a proper staff at that time, and they were being controlled. They were being ordered by the accountant. Uh, so he gives the duty of receipt given to anybody he wishes. Sometimes Atik, sometimes Murjana, his girlfriend. Mm. Okay, I'm not saying afraid of saying this because of the way they treated me. Give me my bicycle allowance. You asked me to wait outside. I waited outside. You came and went downstairs with me and showed me the corner where I would sit down for you to discuss that issue with the superintendent. I've forgotten his name himself. Majid, Dr. Majid. Okay. So why should I be afraid of saying these things? Yes. Thursday, 23rd, 4. Meeting in the lab concerning missing glucose strips, which were opened. We opened the strip and then some were missing, as usual. This is what they do. So when you are with them, everybody considers you to be a thief. I tell you, when they are afraid already, when an Australian came to Janga to me and suspected me of thieving, which appeared not to be right. See, just spoil everybody's name. When you're walking out, people can say, these are the people collecting monies and not doing the test and not giving receipts, when I'm not one of them. That's very painful, isn't it? Okay. Of course, if I were doing it, I wouldn't have taken time to write all these things down. Missing glucose strips opened. A lab meeting in the lab concerning missing glucose strips. Opened on Thursday, 16/4. So the issue didn't come up until 23rd/4. So the glucose strips was opened. The kits of the strips was opened on 16/4. 8 recorded. 8 recorded in the book out of 25. So out of 25 strips, only 8 were recorded. Where is the remaining 18 strips? Am I right? Yes. Where is the remaining? Or where are the remaining 18 strips? So you see, the lab was a private lab. Fosse told me already in Konongo. Remember I said I was in Konongo when they removed me because I refused to partake in those things. And Fosse told me, see, baby, she can't speak English. And baby, I said, baby, he said, everywhere they do it. Yes, she warned me. Everywhere they do it. In other words, go to West Hospital, they do it. Go to Kumasi, they do it. Go to Bolga, they do it. So he said, baby, they do it everywhere. Thieving. And unfortunately, or fortunately, let me say, I won't say unfortunately, fortunately, God hasn't made me to partake in those things, to believe in doing those things. And God knows best. Then on 24/11, I wrote another compensation letter for my microscopes. My friend Ayambiri helped me, and I wrote it here. Second compensation letter typed by Mr. Ayambiri. Posted same day afternoon. So I would have to go to pay for it, but he helped me to do it in his office. I think he made the secretary to do it for me. I'm thankful to him. Saturday, is this Saturday? Saturday 25th, yes, Saturday 25th for 1 hepatitis strip and 1 pregnancy test strip. missing after Rauf and Atik came on duty. So when they come on duty, something gets missing. So you see, I was worrying them. But they saw me as worrying myself. They may be right, I don't know. Anytime they come on duty, something gets missing. Is it the white colonialists who left this kind of practice behind for us? No. And like I said, if we were under the white people, I wouldn't have suffered like this because they didn't know anybody. They dealt with truth. They dealt with us with the truth. And in any case, they were okay. When they were here, they were okay. The British government, I suppose, was paying them as well as the government of Ghana. They didn't need anything. All they needed was justice. Then, Tuesday, 28th, two preg tests stripped missing after I left the lab at 12:20 p.m. All these things, you see, I've recorded them. You go missing. When you turn your head like this, oh, he takes something away. Eh? And when you want to talk, Rauf, who was more senior to all of them, but of course, my assistant will even attempt to beat me up and push me. Assault. Push me to show to them that he can handle me, of course. Instead of going to handling his O levels and becoming a technician, instead of trying to handle his O level exams and becoming a technician, that's what he was doing. Wednesday, 29th, shouts again in the lab as Habiba leading concerning an undone HB of 24th. Yes, there was somewhere I read Habib. It was not Habib, it was Habiba. Yes, somewhere back, but I read Habib, and I said I couldn't remember who Habib is. But then I've seen that it is Habiba. I wrote the Habib without adding the A, or I scribbled it so fast without writing the A. So even here is the same thing, Habib. So it is Habiba leading concerning an undone HB test. I heard them shouting in the lab with Habiba, and Habiba is not actually a lab staff; it's a cleaner who initially said she was not supposed to clean toilet, but after being talked to by the administrator, she came back to accept to clean it. You see? Yes. Tamale Ghana is an African country, and sometimes we have white people come into the lab, and a couple of white people came, and Rauf privatized the case. She did it and pocketed the money and wanted to lure me into doing those things by bringing Malam Sim Patakari and telling me I should do it. The money is mine. What a character. White couples request privatized by Rauf. When questioned, he pushes me and raises the hand to slap. That's what he's been doing in the lab. When I questioned him, he pushed my chest. But you see, I was not disturbed, but he didn't know. He didn't know that I wasn't bothered about this. He pushed my chest and then raised the hand like this. That's why he normally does. When then they'll be laughing. I'll slap you, they'll be laughing. You see? And I was not bothered because I knew he couldn't do anything. If he did anything, I could respond in a heavier situation. I could respond heavier, but as a second thought, I normally refuse to do so because, like I said, I knew he had backing of people ahead. And I also knew I had my equipment in the lab, which they were using and making money from. My own equipment, they would use and make money. I would use and put the money in the facility coffers. Whether the accountant chops it or not, I don't know. I've done the writing. But they said the accountant sometimes he chops monies from the monies that receipts have been issued for. So you are using my own equipment, using it on private cases. I use it and I don't use it on private cases. Only, yes, only for the government. And yet I have not been paid for this equipment. I did and did and did and did. After Opin Ajay died, they said there was no written lesson about it, but they knew it. The whole hospital knew that I started the lab with my equipment because they came rushing. When are you starting? When are you starting the lab? It was so much. It was worrying me much. Then I decided, okay, fine, I have my equipment. Can I bring it? Can I agree? The administrator, he told Abin Ajay, he agreed. And they sent me with two drivers, Wahab and the other driver I've forgotten, at different times to go and collect the equipment. So God knows best. Pushes me and raises hand to slap. Like I said, it's all, then, you have done the wrong thing. You are not the head. And you are behaving like this. Because you can lick Joe Larry's boots. The doctor is coming, you can collect the bag. Oh my God, just to get their sympathy when they go wrong. Or to draw their sympathy when they go wrong. I'm sorry for these people. Okay. Monday. Rauf refuses my greeting. Even though they did all these things, I know when I go and meet them, I normally greet. Because I knew what I was about. So Monday, 11/5, 2009, 8:30 a.m., Rauf refuses to answer my greeting. Of course, I went before him. I normally go before him. Maybe I went outside to do something and then later on he came in. So he's the boss. Joe Larry made him the boss because he asked me to come and fight me so that they will get rid of me from the lab. But they didn't know it was too late because I was writing these things. Somehow they got to fear me because maybe they thought I would report. But incidentally, I didn't report. I reported these things in my journal, which they didn't know. Rauf refuses to answer my greeting. Instead, he insults and warns me before everybody in the lab. That's how he is. So that's his nature. Always wanting to look special. Always wanting to distinguish himself in society. If you look photo, you will see how he behaves. You think a sensible person will do this? Before everybody in the lab, and not to come on Saturdays when he is on duty. Yes, when he is on duty on Saturday, I shouldn't come. He is the boss, because when I come, he can't make money. Yes, when I'm in the lab, he can't make money. He's not the first person to say this. The lab field assistant at Konongo also told me Saturdays I shouldn't come because Saturday is cocoa day for them. They make a lot of money. They come, we make a lot of money. And when I come, there's no money. They make the money and they share. And I'm not bothered about those days. So when I come on Saturdays, they go hungry or half angry. Because in any case, they still steal. Because I can't do anything about it. Only that they have to steal with some kind of consideration. Okay. Wants me every day. No. Monday, yeah. Rauf refuses to answer my greeting. Instead, he insults me and me before everybody in the lab not to come on Saturdays when he's on duty. Who are you? Eh? Bottle seller, extorting money from patients, and yet collecting salaries and allowances and false motivations and whatnot. Then 13.5, I gave a query to Atik again. I gave a query to Atik. Then that was 13.5, Wednesday. Then Thursday 14.5. Then Thursday 14.5, Atik asked to be removed from lab. Yes. So after the query, whether I answered it or not, I can't remember. But then the following day, he asked that he should be removed from the lab. And whom is asking? Of course, not me. You go to the accountant who brought him there. Or somebody higher and say, no, I don't want to be in the lab, so remove me from there. A health extension worker, not a certificated worker. Hmm? Okay. Uh-huh. Then on Friday, 15th of May, on Friday, 15/5, later, that was about 4 p.m., there was a meeting between me, Rauf, and doctor. And that was Dr. Obin Aji, the lead doctor. Rauf again tells lies. Whenever we meet, he tells lies. He doesn't tell the truth. I say this, he says that. You see, even when he came and slapped me, Mr. Gunguni came and asked him, did you slap him? He said, no. If you are not courageous enough, why do you do it? Yes, do you slap him? He said, no. Then, cleverly, Mr. Gunguni put it in another way. Or he himself explained some things. Yes, he himself gave an explanation of uh, how we were about our mismatch in the lab. He said something, and Mr. Gungune asked him, is that why you slapped him? He said, yes. Then Mr. Gungune said, you see, as you say you didn't slap him. So what are you saying now? You see, foolishness. You say you didn't slap him. Then you gave an explanation of something. He asked you, is that why you slapped him? You said, yes. So you see the sort of foolish people I was working with. And yet they ended up stopping my salary of 32 months and other allowances. Nigerian will say, God go hammer them head. Eh? Say, God go hammer your head. Okay. Meeting with Mr. Sumane, yes, 15. Later, meeting with Rauf and Dr. Abin Aje. Rauf again tells lies. Then that same day, 15, meeting with Mr. Asumani. I thought I met him alone or something for some purpose, another case altogether. Maybe my removal from there to Sola or so. Then Monday 18th, I went to Accra for CD4 tutorial. Monday and came back Thursday, 7 a.m. Then there was reason not important. Then 23rd, 5, Rauf drives me out of the lab. He said, go out of the lab. So he's been wanting to fight me in the lab. You remember I said he invited me outside the lab. So on that day, it was even better. It was even a better deal. And let's go out and fight. My equipment was inside the lab. Then now he says, get out of the lab. Look at an idiot. An assistant telling a technician this. Then Dr. Obin Aje intervenes. I think I told Mr. Obin Aje. Then there was somebody to one Jokoto who came into the lab and saw his behavior with me, how he was saying. Jokoto said, no, that he's too arrogant. That is very arrogant. Yes. Then Tuesday, yes, this Jokoto was a junior of mine in the secondary school. There was one time he came and also misbehaved. We used to have a old students meeting. He came, and maybe because he saw how I was treated, he also didn't mind me. He came from my back and placed the left hand, slapped the apex of my head with his left hand and passed, holding, clutching his books on the right. And I said, "Look at this. What is this? We are not Westerners. You can't do that." You see. But then I won't blame him. He saw how I was treated in the lab and he thought that he could do such a thing. Okay. Yes, then Tuesday, 26th May, Dr. that's Obin Aji summons the whole lab to his office and points to me as head of the lab. So apparently he saw what was happening. You can't fight me in there. You can't push me. You can't tell me not to come to the lab. And Dr. Obin Aji told me, Sule is the head of the lab. He had the courage to say that. His jewelry, knowing him or not, notwithstanding. Even probably at that time, he had forgotten that he didn't know jewelry was his pillar, Rauf's pillar, Rauf's anchor. But he told me, called all of us and told him, Sule is the head of the lab, and he pointed to me. You see, except that Rauf is just an odd person. He wants everybody in the area to see that he is he. Okay, on Tuesday, 2nd June, positive pregnancy test of Atutiga shows negative at New Life, shows negative back here in my hands. So they did a pregnancy test for one Atutiga and reported it as positive. The man went to another lab, New Life, and then it was negative. The woman, I don't know whether it's a woman or a man. I think the husband didn't agree, but she went to another and it was negative. Then she came back to our lab and met me, and I did it, and it was negative. So where did they get the positive from? They just concocted some lab results for him, not doing the test. They will use the strip elsewhere and make extra money. I don't know. These people don't think God exists, and they don't think that what goes up comes down. They don't see how people suffer after retirement. Oh my God. Or in some cases, die very early. Die as soon as they go on retirement. May God have mercy on me. Anyway. So you reported as positive. He went to another lab. He says it was negative. But he found it prudent to come back here to test it again. When they came, the test came into my hands and I tested it and it was negative. They don't care. Whom are you going to report to? The one you are going to report to is the one who has sent him here to fight me. There's somebody more corrupt than him, Joe Larry. And his darling boy, Don Kwesi. When he was working high. And then says, Joe Larry, my boss, Joe Larry, my boss, Joe Larry, my boss. Pardon me, viewers. Okay. Then on the 5th of June, Vidal kit O and H. Vidal kit O and H found in a curtain outside the fridge. So it's supposed to be in the fridge. They didn't. They put it in the curtain outside. I don't know, better to be thieved later. I don't know. Oh God. So, of course, I said, this is my autobiography. Mm. And I'm not afraid to read it out for people, just to save my name before I go, before God takes me away. Okay, on Monday 22nd, I typed another letter and sent it to Konongo, Odumasi Government Hospital. I don't know how it went, whether I went on my own or I went on my own sometime later or not, but I typed it on 22nd June. Mm. Yes, there was another untrained boy called Alidu there in the lab. He also refuses correction because he is hungry. Just correct something in the lab. Said, no, he's hungry. He cannot do it. So you see, I was the head, but these people didn't see me as the head. They saw themselves as the head rather. But if I were to be chopping with them, boss, they would respect him because I've allowed them to be chopping, they are chopping. I don't like that kind of respect. No, no, no. May I never do that. And it's even too late. I won't do that. I've finished working and that's all. Mm. Yes, on Wednesday, 12th August, there was a meeting again with the laboratory staff and the medical superintendent, Obin Aji, Mr. Dude, a respectable senior nurse in the hospital, very, very, very gentleman, very respectable. Mm. He used to give me my due respect. Mm. And medical superintendent and Mr. Kane. So meeting with lab staff, then medical superintendent Obiaji, then Mr. Dude, and then Kane Hashmir, the administrator. I haven't put down what we discussed anyway, but I think it was again the Rauf issue. And I believe she's gone on retirement now. Mm. Then 13th August, Rauf attempts discussing attendant book issue with Danjuma as his witness. Well, you've taken the book away. You two thieves. Who is going to be witness to who? The Quran says the wrongdoers are witnesses to each other. Yes, two thieves. Benjamin, who was being slapped at Akroku's office, came now, stole equipment, including mine, and continues stealing monies and misbehaving. And you, Rauf, are saying he's your witness or the vice versa. What is the meaning of it? Like I said, they didn't know I jotted these things down. Okay. I think, viewers, we shall stop here and then continue at another time. Thank you very much, and may God bless you all, and may you pray for me as I pray for you. Illa likai. Bye bye. Au revoir.